Scotland will transform from Europe's oil and gas capital to its zero-carbon capital and provide moral leadership on the climate crisis, says Humza Yousaf. Hello, and welcome to my channel. If is your first time, please subscribe, also hit the bell so that you won't miss out in any of our update. Please do well to stay tuned till the end. The Prime Minister said his government would walk the talk during a speech during Climate Week in New York. He announced funding for the countries most affected by climate change. Yousaf was the keynote speaker at the event on financing climate justice. He warned that southern countries, which contributed the least to global carbon emissions, were bearing the brunt of the climate crisis. We are collectively guilty of catastrophic negligence, and our children have every right to be angry, and, frankly, they have every right not to forgive us if we don't act, the SNP leader said. A further £800,000 has been announced to help victims of Storm Freddy in Malawi, in partnership with the Scottish Catholic International Aid Fund. The Prime Minister also said the government would work with the Climate Justice Resilience Fund to provide £5 million for the non-economic loss and damage scheme. A further £1 million would be made available to cover loss and damage through the Humanitarian Response Fund. Yousaf said this meant Scotland was meeting its COP27 commitment to donate £7 million to the countries most affected by the climate crisis. We will move from being the oil and gas capital of Europe to unlocking our renewable energy potential and becoming the net zero capital of the world, added Mr. Yousaf. We will demonstrate moral leadership and ensure that compensation is not only promised but also paid. That is why I encourage other nations to join us. The existence of humanity depends on it. Earlier, a Scottish government minister said Yousaf was right to travel more than 5,000 miles to attend the event in New York. Mhairi McAllen, Minister for Transport, Net Zero and Just Transition, told Good Morning Scotland. I understand the argument about reducing travel. That's certainly what we have in mind. When it comes to change, that is the climate crisis imposes on us, it is very important to lead these discussions personally and to conduct these negotiations formally and informally. It is right that we do everything we can to support those nations that have contributed virtually nothing but are the first and worst victims of this situation, McAllen said. The